just a joke, you know, sort of.
Once it got painted, you know, it was, I mean, you know, all the kids talked about it, and you know, it was something to see.
If you live around Ada, chances are you've seen it. And if you've lived around Ada your entire life, chances are you've seen it 1,000 times or more. Frog Rock, located on a rural road just a few miles southwest of Ada, is a landmark in Pontotoc County and has been since it was born in the spring of 1975.
We just went out every weekend to this cabin. We stopped, I did, and I just looked at the rock, and it even had a foot, you know, kind of shaped on like a frog, and I thought, well, that is a frog, you know, so I just thought it was a frog, but later someone told me that it was just a, what do you call them, a big boulder, and I said, well, it looked like a frog to me, so I just painted it.
I'm gonna say 6th grade. It could have been the 5th grade. I lived out in the oil center area, but I went to school up here at Lida, and I remember going to Van Oss over here, and we always took this farm to Market Road, going to Van Oss to play ball games. And one of the other kids lived out this way, and they said, hey, you got to look at this green frog when we drive. And every kid on the school bus got on the same side, so we could look out the window. We was all fighting over a window to see this frog as we come by. I won't never forget that.
The first time Juanita painted the rock, she did so quickly as a surprise for her family and friends.
At first I'd spray painted it, but it didn't do too good, and I painted it then with a brush next time. So that's the way I did it. I just put his eyes white because it's easy to spray. And then I go around it with some black. Come back over with white now. At first I just did it to be just a quick thing, you know. Then I've gone back and kind of fixed him up a little different. And I didn't tell my husband that I painted it or anything, and we drove over that evening, and he topped that hill, and he said, well, look at there, somebody has painted that rock into a frog. I've lived here all my life, I haven't seen a frog in that rock. And I looked at him and I said, I did, and he said, you did.
After Juanita painted the rock the first time, it became evident to everyone that the frog had always been there, hiding in plain sight. But she saw the frog all along.
I don't know, it seemed like I was into rocks a lot. When I'd walk or anything, I'd pick up a rock. And my dad we got a lot of rocks on our farm, and he built a fence. Just flat rocks and different shapes of rocks. And then, I don't know, I just loved rocks, to look at them and pick them up. And I've got a whole basket full in the closet that my daughter and I picked up during, we went to Arizona. And I've got a lot of Arizona rocks out here in the about around the tree.
After that first paint job, Juanita probably didn't realize she had started a new tradition for herself. She has painted it every spring since 1975, with the exception of 1 year. An extended hospital stay was the only thing that could keep her from it. She has always stayed true to the original design.
His, underneath his stomach is white, and some of his eyes, around his eyes, and that's just the way it went. He's supposed to have a little gash in him, I guess. It's supposed to be a smile.
How do you select the color? I mean, did you just go?
No, just green. Just would be green.
So do you just get any shade of green?
Yeah, just any shade.
So he's been different shades.
Just so he was green. It's supposed to be his nose. Oh, it took a quart or more I used. because it was a lot of gravel and stuff there, you know, and it'd brush off, and then I'd have to, when I would use the paintbrush, and then I'd go over it with a spray can and spray to kind of touch it up a little more.
For the first time she saw the boulder at the side of the road, Juanita, like many others, wondered if it rested on public or private property.
The right-of-way usually runs about 60 feet. Some areas it's 66 feet, but you can base a right-of-way usually on highline poles and foam pedestals. Like on that side you got the foam pedestals, and on this side you got the highline. They're pretty much set on right-of-way, and that's what the county usually goes by, and that's what the utility lines goes by. The rock's far enough off the right-of-way. In most cases, you know, we like stuff to be cleared 30 feet from the center of the road, and we've got more than that right here, and it really don't play a factor or a hazard in any of the traffic.
And at first I wondered, you know, if it belonged to somebody there close, but seemed like someone did mention it one time I was at church, that they'd went to church, and they said, well, that was kind of on their property, you know, so I didn't say nothing about it, but then they told me it was county, more of the county, you know, so they didn't worry me then.
My whole life since I was a kid, they've always mowed around this rock. Back when I worked for the county 25 years ago, when I first started out, that's what I did, was brush hog for the county when I first got hired. And that's been about 25 years ago. And we mowed down this road, and this stretch around this rock has always been maintained and weeded. And to this day, I still really don't know who does that. But it looks nice, they keep it presentable, and I appreciate it, and I know all the neighbors do too.
Because it has never been moved, and because it receives a new coat of paint each year, Frog Rock has become a beloved part of the landscape. It is part of local folklore, and has even been listed on several websites.
Well, I think it's great, and it is a landmark. Probably 60% of the calls we get at the county barn, if they concern the farm to market road. You know, some people say farm market, some people call it Lightning Ridge Road, and the rest of them call it the Green Frog Road. And they give you directions. It may be if you get to the Green Frog, you've gone too far, or you go just past the Green Frog and you turn, or that pothole's just at the bottom of the hill past the Green Frog. It's amazing that the Green Frog responses we get through the county.
That was just my thing. And I just did it because they did tell me it was a landmark, and I just kept doing it, make it look good.
If I moved that rock, I'd probably disappear and you'd never see me again. You know, I think it's a traditional landmark. I think it's great. I appreciate the citizens taking care of it, and it's not a hazard, and I just think it's great that we have this.